So doesn't the main character kind of look like the main character from Heaven's Official Blessing? Because doesn't he, this art style makes him look exactly like him, and I'm thriving for it. I'm living for it. Because the main character from Heaven's Official Blessing is so beautiful, so gorgeous, and he needs to be just as beautiful and gorgeous. Like, I'm thriving for it. The main character has a moment where he's like, oh, do I have feelings for the Melly? No, no, no. Those are my feelings for him being my protector. Like, I had all these beliefs and delusions about what a protector would be like. It's just all of those delusions and things affecting me. It's not because I have feelings for him. I'm like, honey, you have feelings for him. Yes, you do. He also kind of gets jealous when he sees the Mellied interacting with his blood brother. Like, he's full on jealous over that. He has to walk away from a scene and lay down somewhere else because he was upset. He feels pangs of hurt in his heart when he sees these two men interact with each other. Like, I freaking love it. So when they're slaying, and most of it is the male lead making the main character ride down the sleigh with him, and they're going on a shield with no rope attached, and so this is freaking the main character out. The male lead has him wrapped up in his arms. The main character's trying to keep his eyes closed, but the second time around, the male lead's like, no, you can't close your eyes. I was like, wait, this is too hot to be riding a sleigh. Like, this was too, oh my god, like, I was burning up from this scene, but also they almost kissed. They literally just almost kissed. I was like, oh my god! They should have kissed. They should have kissed. Again, I'm gonna apologize. My mispronunciation of this name. The Ikuo King's son was killed by the Melid's blood brother. Well, the same dark doctor who had turned the Melid's father into a living ghoul did the same thing to the Kulu King's son. They tried getting rid of the body, but the body went off and brought more drought ghouls after them. And then this was 3 years prior to the story when their son was turned. And he just recently returned back with a bunch of dead armies. Now, the Akilo King knew where these bodies were most likely came from, so when the main character tries to escape and leave after the whole dispute and argument between the male lead, the blood brother, himself, and the Ikulu consort, the main character's like, I'm gonna leave. Well, the Ikulu King stops him, goes, I'm on a mission to find out what has happened with my son and how to deal with this issue and take care of it. So they decide to go off on their own. Even though the male lead originally was going to go along with the main character, that was also the conversation the main character and male lead had when the blood brother walked in on him. He wasn't pleased about the two of them leaving together. He wanted the male lead to stay and the main character to go. And the male lead wanted to go with the main character to protect the main character because, again, he's the main character's protector at this point. He wants to be the main character's protector. But the main character at this point has given up on the male lead being his protector. And the blood brother's like, you can't go. And the male lead's, I'm going with him. He needs someone to protect him. And he's blaming the main character, like I said. This leads to the whole argument and fight thing. And the male lead wanted to leave and leave the position as running the clans to the blood brother, and the blood brother's like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, it was a whole thing. I should have explained it a little better, but I'm trying my best now. But yes, the Ecleo King is going to go off with the main character without informing the male lead. So they just ran off without telling the male lead. But guess what? The male lead followed them the entire time they were traveling, just staying behind because he couldn't catch up with them. Because again, the Ecleo King knows his locations and territories like the back of his hand. So he's able to keep the main character safe and sound till they get to a certain point. They're basically attacked by wolves and a wolf child. This wolf child was trying to get hold of the Akili King because the Akili King was wearing the same clothing as his son. Looked like an elder, so he was coming to get this man and bring this man to the deer god. And it became a whole thing. The dude was captured and taken, and this is when the male lead reveals that he'd been chasing the main character down this entire time. And let's just say he rips the main character a new one about running away. And the main character and him have a little spat on, but it's not very much anything. But yes, they're going to search for him. While on the search for the Aquila King, they end up running into one of the 8 great princes, the one from book 1, and he attacks the male lead, and the main character and male lead are separated. The main character ends up running into the wolf child with the wolves. The main character is trying to speak with the child, but it's not going very well. Like, it's a little frustrating for the main character trying to talk a child who does not understand human language, or at least the language of today. So yes, it was a mess and a half. The main character's trying to talk with him. They use pictures. Like, it's a bit of an issue. Luckily, sooner or later, the wolf child realizes what the main character wants and leads the main character to where the Melid is, the Aquila King is, and where one of the Gray Ape Princes is. And this is a whole fight. The Melid had been possessed. The main character has to unpossess the Melid. He speaks the Melid through the Melid's trauma with his father. The Aquila King is killed. They speak with the Aquila King while he's dying. They were able to fight one of the Gray Ape Princes off and send the man away. And when the Aquila King is dying because he got killed trying to protect the Melid and the main character. And it was really sad. Like, I was bawling. Like, this man, I barely knew him, but I felt the main character's sadness because, again, the main character traveled with this man for a certain period of time, and this man died protecting the main character. Like, I was sad for the main character. Like, yes, I barely knew this man, but I was sad for the main character. The wolf child and the wolves lead the main character, Melid, to the deer god, who is literally dying. Yes, he's dying too. He explains to the main character, Melid, how he came across the wolf child, that the wolf child was handed to him by the wolf god, who had gone out searching for information about the demon god, and came across this child whose family was killed, and made a promise to protect this child and raise this child, but he himself was dying, so he passed his wolf powers off to the child. And so the deer god raised this child to this certain point. But the child looks like he's 7 and 8, even though he's 12, because he's so malnourished. Because again, he's being raised by a tribe of wolves and a deer god. Like, he's not going to get the nurturancy that he needs. The deer god and the wolf god got their powers from the dragon god after the dragon god passed away or retired. I wasn't really sure which one it was. I'm like telling you, I was confused reading these certain parts because I'm not the world's smartest person. But yes, they got their powers. They'd sooner or later pass their powers off to somebody else once they pass away. The main character and the deer god realize that maybe the whole silence of magic was caused by the dragon pearl, who all the magic in the world was absorbed into it, which causes nobody to be able to use the magic, and that the demon god is trying to find this pearl. And also they find out that the demon god is actually the dude who turned the Melid's father into a living ghoul. Yes, this is the man who did that to the Melid. And the main character is shocked because the demon god should be dead and not reincarnated. If he was reincarnated, the world would be way worse than it is now. But the deer god tells him that yes, he's been revived. And now the main character is more freaking out than he originally was.